sorry, I keep getting kicked off. So I know that we're working. Papa Jeff, did you already run the video?
Yes, sir, I did. And as I was noting to them, I was going to run it, and I was presuming they'd be ready to go. So I assume they're still working on it.
Yeah, they're in progress. So let's just chat while they're getting while they're working out some of the technical difficulties. Glad to see everyone. Brother Ed, Bill, Sister Mona. Oh, looks like they might. Oh, this says me. I don't understand. All right.
Yeah, I see that your name is over there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm really confused. But let's spotlight it and let's see. Maybe they're ready to go. And they need to unmute. Unmute, guys.
Like the people, it's on.
good morning. We say good morning to those of us here in the building and to those of us out on Zoom. And let me say, Most High, we thank you for another opportunity to come to your building and say your praises. We thank you for letting us realize that it is time for us to stand like a people. We, the people of Maat, know that when it comes to truth, justice, righteousness, and harmony, we need to stand like a people and be heard. So we ask this in your name, Most High, and we ask that we have a wonderful service today. We ask this in your name. Say it with me, Ashe. 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 I've been informed that we're going to have a slight format change this morning. So we're going to have our affirmation, which will be brought to us by Mama Daisha. And then after the affirmation, we're going to have announcements. So you people, so anybody who has an announcement, be ready to give it to us after the affirmations. All right, we're going to take a short period for announcement. And now, Mama Daisha and the affirmation.
Thank you, Father Ty. Good morning, family.
Good morning. Good morning.
Woze Community Affirmation. We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator.
Help us to remember the Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creating. Let us work, study, and listen. So we learn, teach, and cultivate self-realization.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation, with discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive for the lives of the direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are children of God.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And with that, if there are any announcements of people here physically in the room at Woze, anyone with announcements? No? Okay, Baba, Minister Imhotep, if you would take over if there are online announcements.
Yes. Hope you can see that. In Oakland, Holly Street.
It's glitchy.
So it's a COE meeting of Oakland will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. In the worship service.
Put everything in the corner on his desktop.
On Wednesday, March 20th, Brother Pierre Bossier will be joining us to give us an update on Haiti. And that will be at 5, from 5 to 6:30. And we'll put the flyer in the chat. I want to remind everyone of the celebration of life service for Sister Grace Douglas will be Thursday, March 28th at 11 a.m. We'll have our sound healing with Doc Elliott on March 30th at 3035 Maritime Drive in Elk Grove. And it's going to be from 2 to 4. Sister Saraswati made a wonderful flyer for our Love Supreme Prayer Ministry that meets on Monday and Fridays. So I'll drop this also in the chat because there's a particular Zoom ID that you need to use or a phone number. It's not the usual one that we're using. So in order to join us, you need to have those one of those two things to be with us. I want to say happy birthday to Sisters Pamela Williams and Sister Thandiwe Jennifer Lyons. Happy birthday to them. I think their birthday is on the 19th. All right.
Thank you.
Also, I saw this on Facebook. Sisters Karen and Michelle and Betty Davis, they're working diligently at the African marketplace on Saturday, and here they are. They're setting up with their food, delicious desserts. Sister Betty still has her culture collection business going on as well. We have a flyer just that you can hand out to people to let them know about us. It has both QR codes, both websites, and what we believe and what we practice, and invites people to join us in Zoom and in person. All right, I think that's it. Ashe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're finished with announcements. Holly Street.
Thank
Thank you, Saints. Well, we'll hear more from them in the future, and in a moment. I do want to just give a real quick shout out. I see Baba Damu was online. Good to see you online, Baba Damu, Sudi Ali. I'm gonna come by to visit you real soon, my brother. Now, one of my favorite parts of Wose, I love to learn from the youth. And this sister that I'm about to introduce for the historical tribute has been educating us at Wose for years, ever since she was a little girl. You'll see she's not a little girl anymore. Yeah, I still remember her giving a historical tribute on Bessie Coleman. It was so good, made me go out and look up Bessie Coleman myself. So that's good. So I want to bring her to the front now. Take a warm welcome to our used to be young sister, now Sister Jalea.
Young sister Leah.
I say. Good morning.
Okay, so today my historical tribute is inspired by my English teacher. We had to read this book called In the Time of the Butterflies, which was based upon four sisters who went through a lot, and they're like very important to some of the stuff that's going on in the Dominican Republic today. So, our first sister we're going to talk about is Patria Mercedes Manuel Reyes. Okay, Patria Mercedes, born February 27th, 1924, and died November 25th, 1940. Commonly known as Patria, was the oldest of the Marival sisters. When she was 14, she was sent to a Catholic high school, a Catholic boarding school by her parents, Colegio in Macualda Concepcion, in Las Vegas. She was 17 when she married Pedro Gonzalez, a farmer who would later aid her in challenging the Trujillo regime. Patria had 3 children. She once said, "We could not allow our children to grow up in this corrupt and tyrannical regime. We have to do everything we can and fight for life if it's necessary." The second sister we're going to talk about is Delcia Aldelia Merival Reyes, also known as Merival. She was born March 1st, 1925, and died February 1st, 2014. Commonly known as Dede because of her long name, but her sisters called her Merival. She was the second sister of the Marival sisters. She did not go to college. Instead, she became a traditional homemaker. She carried the family business. Unlike her sisters, she didn't want to go to college. The Marival's patriarch, Enrique, died after political imprisonment, and Dede took over the family finances. Dede started the Merival Sisters Foundation and the Merival Sisters Museum, where she continued her sister's legacy and surviving to be the last sister of the family. She died at the age 88 and professed her life and destiny to surviving to tell the story of her sisters.
That's it.
The main sister I want to focus on today is Minerva. Minerva is from the Dominican Republic, and her parents were farmers, coffee shop owners, and jewelry store owners. They were very successful and had a great living. Minerva was different from her other sister, and she reminds herself of me. She liked to wear the pants in the relationship.
Yes.
She wasn't the type to wear a skirt. She refused to wear a skirt to church. She refused to wear a skirt anywhere. She started when she was a little girl, cutting her dad's pants to make them fit her so she can wear pants. Minerva was not the firstborn. She was actually one of the last children to be born. Her mother really didn't favor her because she wasn't a Christian feminine type. She was very left out of all the situations that her mother had. Like, her mother didn't pay attention to her, and she started a rebellion to where all the sisters could get killed, which eventually they did. The sisters, when they got older, found a group of people who wanted to kill the president of the Dominican Republic at the time, Trujillo. Trujillo was a terrible person. He wanted to control the Dominican Republic, and he did. Anytime somebody did the slightest thing he didn't like having his picture up on the wall crooked, he would kill them. Trujillo met Minerva and the other sisters when they were doing a dance performance at their school. And he took one of the girls, not the sisters, one of the girls from the all Catholic boarding school, and they never saw her return. Later, the story had came out that he had married her while he had 23 other wives on the side, and his main wife killed her. She was jealous. So, the next time he came up to the school, he was bringing the sisters gifts. Minerva didn't buy it. She knew something was wrong. Her friend, Minerva had met a friend. Her name was Sasia. Sasia did not like Trujillo at all. He killed her sister, her brother, her uncle, her dad, and her mother.
Wow.
She had no family left over. When they did a performance, there was a bow and arrow. There was a bow and arrow there was a bow and arrow in it.
Okay.
And she was the one to point it. She almost killed him. But he was protected by his 20 guards sitting around him. Trujillo was not the best person. And in my opinion, I would say he is selfish. Because anything somebody did that he didn't like, he would kill them. For Minerva, her husband, when he found out that she was in the rebellion, he took her husband, burned him, and tied her to a chair so she had to watch it. They shot him slowly to make sure she was there when he died. But they didn't want him to die right away. They killed him over 30 to 60 days. And her father, it's sad what happened to him too. Minerva went to a ball, a party at his palace because he thought she was very beautiful. And you can't refuse to go to a ball with him. So she went and he asked for a dance. She said yes, even though she wanted to say no. She didn't have a choice. His hand started slipping lower and lower and lower until it was on her butt. She slapped him so hard. Yes, so hard that all of his guards had came up and put her in a chokehold. He told them to let her go because she was so beautiful. He said, we'll talk about this later. And her dad begged for mercy to let him go. So they left, and that night, Trujillo had came to her house. He took her father, and now he put him in imprisonment. So, her father didn't do anything wrong. But of course, since he was the president, he had authority and power to do that. So, he had him in prison for 30 days without food or water. I'm surprised he survived that. Right. And so, eventually she got her father out. But the way she got him out was by gambling. Trujillo loved to gamble. So, her life and her father's life, she risked it by the roll of the dice. So, the deal was, if she won, her father would get out, she would leave her alone, and she could go to law school. If he won, she could stay at the palace, never get out, but her dad would also be free. She rolled the dice, and she got like a good number or something. I'm not. And she was like, well, you could still go with ace. And he said, I don't care about winning. But, you know, Trujillo, he's a tricky person. So I knew from the beginning, I was like, oh, he's going to pull out something late. So when she finished law school, he said, when he given her her certificate, he said, I said you can go to law school, but I didn't say you could practice. Okay. Eventually, her and her sisters were caught trying to run away and were beat to their death. Trujillo had no mercy for anybody. Today, I would like to dedicate my submission to the Medieval sisters and their dedication, and to my English teacher.
I say. That's our youth. Let's hear for our youth.
Yeah.
My students said that one too, man. That's our youth. And I want you to know that Julia is now a part of Wolse Oakland's production team. You see her every Sunday, and she works with Mama Darnisha to put things out. And as I look out over the congregation, I see everybody's proud of Julia. I see Mama Fanya smiling. I see Jahi and Pam are smiling. They're from her time at Eliam Day.
That's right.
And she pours libation in. I see Baba Bamadele, who is a historical wizard, is smiling. He learned from the tribute. And so I know somewhere Mama Jasir is smiling, taking credit for what Julia just did. So let's see it one more time. And now, more music and the sound of money. Okay, so there's that kind of news, right, about the corrupt leaders, and you know, obviously, those of you that know history know that Trujillo was backed by the United States government and all of that. But we have some African leaders rising now. We have Ibrahim Traoré, we have other leaders that are standing up, and we have a lot of youth in Africa and here that are standing up. So this song is dedicated to the fact that while things may be portrayed that we're just taking L's, we're actually on the rise here. Yes, right. Yes. All right? Yes. So I hope you can sing along with this one too. Okay? B flat, bro. B flat minor. The tide is high. Can we all sing that? Here come the people. The tide is high. We've been lied to and exploited. We've been so big, so jointed. We're over all the attitude. We ain't giving it no more attitude. We've been so cold like an attitude. So it's all now with an attitude. We've been watched, we've been played. From parents down to the enslaved. We've been hostage, we've been home. Every day is slowly come. But the warriors now have come. Once we're building, we all come the people. The tide is high. Here come the people. The tide is high. Thank you, sounds much. Now it's time to pay some bills. So we're going to have Robert Catabasi come forward and give us our litany of thanks.
Hey, look, remember this.
Good morning, we'll say. Good morning, to family. Whether it's in the morning or whether it's in the AM. It's good to be alive. It's good to be here in the house of our Rob. And it's good for you all in the Zoom audience to be with us this morning. So, as it's been said, you know, we've come before you before and expressed the work that we do here and what goes in into maintaining that work, shared with you all, our goals for the community going forward this year. So the reasons why we need funds should be clear.
Yeah.
And so This is the time to give back, to do the best that you can. And there we are. We have the litany. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear our prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of our mouth. How can we be the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Lord and Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujikagalia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Boomba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people,
and righteousness and the victory of our struggle.
Yeah. Thank you, community. Thank you, Mr. Danisha, for this wonderful podium cover that you just installed this morning. Many thanks to the Stones of Fire, laying down some beautiful sounds, some new music, some fresh music. Yeah, sounds of Maat. Yeah, so much, so long. We always have the Stones here, but the Sound of Maat has been laying down some beautiful music and doing a wonderful job in conveying that strong ministry of the West State community. Now, while I was up here rambling, it looks like the addresses for members to send their contributions. Now they're back up. Thank you. So you can send those contributions to the WOSE community by going into the WOSE web page, and there are links in there that you can send electronic donations. You can also send mail donations to 8924 Holly Street. That's where we're at right now. We've been at this location for a number of years. 8924 Holly Street, Oakland, California, 94621. Also, there's the web page for WOSE Sacramento. Wonderful Sisters chapter up there in Sacramento. Doing some mighty good work up here. You know, we're one family. We may be geographically separated by some distances, but our philosophy is the same. We're one WOSE family. So you can send electronic contributions for their web page there. And they also have a mailing address, PO Box 5271, Sacramento, California, 95817. Okay, with that being said, I will take just a moment to share a few words of prayer. O Holy One, divine creator, we come thanking you this morning, this afternoon, ever grateful for our lives, ever grateful for our being here. We ask that you bless each and every one that took the time to make a contribution, to send a contribution. Many that have provided their talents and their skills in the production of this service, as well as other aspects of our organization. We thank you, and we do not take these sacrifices lightly. We thank you for all of our diligent members, all of our new members that have found their way here to the Wosay community. We thank you for your being here. We thank you for these sacrifices, and it is our glorious endeavor to use these sacrifices in the best way that we know how, in maintaining ourselves and in perpetuating our message of the Wosay community, the message of Maat. And so we thank you again, and may what we are doing here today and what we have done has been found pleasing before the Creator, Amen Ra, and for our ancestors. Ashe. Thank you, Robert Catabasi.
Yes.
Well, say those of us in the building, I want you to take a look around. Look around. We are here.
Yeah.
We are here in our building, right?
Yes, we are.
And that's due to a lot of reasons. But one of the main reasons is that we at Wosay Open now have some leadership, right? We have a brother I've been standing back watching this brother move. I've been working with him a little bit. He makes a lot of moves. Some that are seen, some that are not seen. Some he advertises, some he's just in the background doing work. But the brother is working, right?
Yeah.
And not only is he working, he brings us a powerful message when he comes up here. And so let's welcome the new, I say new, it's been a while now, but the new Wosay Open Minister, Minister Maat. Let's give it up.
I'm still new, comparatively. Which means I also want a built-in excuse for any shortcomings you may see. Welcome, family. Once again, it's a pleasure and an honor and a privilege to bring a message today. There was a song, because I'm not a true singer, and I really feel like I robbed, because every person, including the children in my family, are singers. They're good, not just, open their mouths and have them hum along. Like my sister that's here. I'm not gonna ask you to sing. I just got scared, but she can blow. And my younger three sisters were so talented, they put together a singing group at one point.
Okay.
My cousins and other family members, very musically oriented. We had a stand-up upright piano in my great uncle's house that we grew up with. And all of it was part of a tradition that folks would learn to play that piano in order to be allowed to do any singing in the house. And me, somehow I missed that part where they said the singing part.
Well,
Now, if I'm in the shower or I'm alone in a room, I think I can blow pretty good. I at least know all the lyrics. Singing in public or around folks, please approve that was the one gift I missed. Yet, here's the thing that I love about music and the lyrics. Since I couldn't sing that well, I learned how to dance.
all right.
And my sister would tell you that James Brown was one of my most popular dance moves. I can do everything, can walk and the spin and everything but the splits. But James Brown. And one of the beauties about music from the era that I come from is the lyrics, the words. And so even for musically challenged people like myself, there are lyrics that move and have passed and spanned for generations, which teaches us a lot about ourselves in the immediate, but also from where we come from. One of the singing groups that I felt embodied that a lot when I was growing up, and also through my college days, was the folks that had that slave ship on one of the albums. Wait till I build up to it. But you're right, the OJs. And that was one of the most powerful albums for me because of that song. Yet this morning I woke up with this song, Unity, where the words are unity. We must have unity because united we stand and divided we fall. And that simple refrain is my starting point this morning. Simply, united we stand, divided we fall. And that's not really even that challenging because we are the best evidence where we are today, what we have gone through up to this point, and the challenges I believe we face have to do with that issue. And it's not accidental. It's not a coincidence. It isn't this so happens to be. It's a part of the history of this country and the relationship between us and the them. Y'all feel me this morning? The us and the them. The them are invested in us not being united. And us have proven without that unity, we don't have a solution to the conditions we exist. This morning we were having a discussion I came in upon between Brother David and Baba Ty about where our young people are. And I'm so glad Jaheed and Pam are here because part of the struggle of being older people is that even though we have gained some wisdom, there's a gap between the wisdom we've attained through life experience and how the young perceive it. Somebody hear me? Yeah. And those people in particular see it on a daily basis. And what we have to work with that I want to share today, this morning, I believe is a concrete solution to how to address that gap. And it ain't just for the young people. It actually is for us older folks. Because we have an obligation that we have fell a bit short. We have an obligation and a responsibility and a divine command to pass along what we've been graciously blessed by so that it continues beyond even our days. And we got to do a much better job of taking that which we have gained that we believe is valuable and passing it on, not just to the very young, but the ones younger than us, who in turn will need to pass it to someone younger than them. It isn't us standing here and throwing something way down there. It's the simple part of passing what we have learned, what we have gained to someone right next to us, outside of us, so that our gatherings here shouldn't be a challenge about the numbers. Because the need is great. And it's not a whole lot of debate about whether or not we need it, and we ain't got to refer it all if we just look it over. And how can we imagine? How can we see the young gaining what we know and believe them to gain and be okay with where Oakland is right now, where our families are right now, where our communities are right now. There is an obviousness that we could talk about for the next 3 months of the road. But there's a solution and it's much simpler and don't need that long of a discussion. And I believe my aunt shares that solution. Let me direct you to Lucia, page 32, stanza 3. And it says, the second paragraph, the balancing of the land lies in Maat. Truth, justice, and righteousness. That's it. And you say a whole bunch more about that. And 3 of the principles mentioned is a part of actually a package, which I believe is the guidelines for a moral living. Maat is no more than a bunch of intellectual statements if it isn't a part of a standard, a guideline to live by. Y'all feel me this morning?
Yes.
So my message today is going to be around living a moral life. Yeah. Watch out for y'all toes. You say it in advance, so don't take it personally. But feel me today. And I'm not just talking to you all, I'm talking with you all, because that guideline works all around. Because I need it too. Personally, my familiarity with my aunt is short-term relatively. Although those guidelines, those moral standards, have been around me all my life. I don't know about y'all, but I know my mama used to tell me the do's and the don'ts. I know most of y'all sitting in here know about the do's and the don'ts. The guideline for moral living and was set in stone thousands of years. Thousands of years. And its power is that in the community, in the nation that started that belief work, lasted for thousands of years. It produced something which is still evident today, the pyramids. And beyond the pyramids, because there's a story about it, within it is a message that is valuable to us today. Wow. Last time we were together, I spoke about standing on my aunt. Tonight I want to talk about living with Maat. Is that all right with y'all? Part of that professor part of me that I used to have, I got an outlet today I want to, give to y'all. In the years that I was sitting in classrooms watching the chaos, I have a need for an outlet today. All right? Living with Maat. A moral guideline. Well, let's first get that issue settled. Where Maat comes from versus what it's supposed to do. First of all, the history of Maat is, I already had mentioned, and Professor Mono does it real well, about where the 25th, about Maat's system of a lot of what we understand, that's not the history of Maat. I'm talking about you can really measure how valuable something is by who tends to follow it. The 10 Commandments comes out of my mouth. Let that sit with you for a minute. See, a lot of y'all are familiar with the 10 Commandments. And a whole lot of y'all love to give Moses the credit for them. It's true. He did give to the Hebrew people the 10 Commandments. But it's also a part of the 142 convictions of innocence. And as it is with a lot of cultures, that's when they try to steal stuff and not give credit where it comes from. They don't usually get it all. And so they out of 132, they came in with 10. Not bad. The issue is that the actual source of it is us. And Kemet had it, Moses had it for Kemet, and anybody want to debate that, and you can just look right in the Bible, in Exodus, Moses was raised in the Pharaoh's house, which means that he got a first-hand training by the priesthood about Maat. You didn't know that, John? I feel some of you probably already know that. See, Moses was given credit for bringing the Ten Commandments to his people, which really was just another tribe of our people. He brought 10. Well, 10 he could just remember and hold on to. Don't be mad at me, stuff. So our memory, it's just like the game. We know what you guys grew up in college, where you do the whisper game, and you're sitting in a circle, and the first person says a sentence or statement, and by the time you get around the circle, it's usually not the same message. Am I right, daughter? See, they still play it now, you know, they just may call it something different. But the issue is, it's about human nature. The more you get further from the original source, the less it sounds like what it originally started off, but it still keeps. And so by the time it got to the Hebrews, it was only 10. When it started from its original source, though, it was at least 142. It could be more. I was there, so I won't argue about it, but I do know that there is a wall in one of the pyramids that shows the reading of the script. And it is what that script's about. Because you need to tell the arbiter of the afterlife what you did do and what you don't do, and it's compared and put on a scale, and it should be like a feather versus your heart, which is the real meaning behind my eye. It's not just what you think in your mind. It's what do you believe in your heart. And I ain't talking about pumping blood. I'm talking about what really motivates you. What really touches you. What really makes you do what you do when you get up. And not what you may talk about when you're in the church house. I know we got a whole bunch of good followers and believers in the church house. My eye, as a moral guideline, doesn't really be effective if it doesn't follow you out of the church. See, what you say has to match up with what actually you do. And you can't claim or believe if you have no behavior that models it the same. That's why that's a little troublesome. That's why that gets on your nerves a little bit. That's why that can really bother you, because you just can't play it off. You just can't sound good. You know, that's why I mean it's a mutual message, because ministers don't get a pass either. And I don't just get away with it by standing here now quoting from the you see it. See, once you don't see me in the pulpit, behind the podium, in the sanctuary, how do I behave? What do I really believe? It's like the principles of value, like they said, what is it? How are you when nobody else is looking? See, can you do and feel and hold up those things when nobody else is around to tell them about it? See, that's the thing about what old folks was trying to teach us, especially us that are now old folks. See, our parents were telling us stuff that was supposed to stay with us, regardless if they were still there to check you. Right. Whether or not they still would catch you and pull you by your ears and say, don't do that. Because now, what they taught us, it should be in our mind. It should be in our heart. It should be in our spirit. So that check something. You don't need me to check you. You need to check you. I need to check you. And the reason we all really share and give it to each other is when I'm busy seeing myself check myself, I don't have time to be criticizing you. I don't have time to measure how you do what you're supposed to do and not, because I got a lot of work checking myself. My art is defined, and there's the three basics that were mentioned, but on page 217, in my favorite holy text that Pam promises me will one day be one of our sacred texts, page 217. Practice now. Justice, harmony, propriety, order, reciprocity, balance, and truthfulness in all situations. Now, the ones that are commonly said a lot, truth, justice, and righteousness, tend to be self-explanatory. Balance, harmony, reciprocity, and truthfulness. Not the truth as defined by me. Truthfulness in all situations, which means I stop at the red light, not according to if there's traffic there too, and whether or not the police is sitting there. Is that basic enough for y'all? See, truthfulness in all situations means I hold truth as important, regardless of what other people may like about it or dislike about it. And it doesn't mean that my truthfulness is the measure of all of y'all. See, my truthfulness and my truthfulness is for me, which means you aren't a good excuse. See, a lot of our bailouts today, and young people see it, is that we came from that tradition of do what I tell you to do, not what I do. So therefore, it was always, let's say, situation that when I'm doing the talking, you that's the truth. And whatever I'm talking about, that's the truth. And then if somebody else show up, well, and especially when my truth gets challenged. Like I said, keep it real, and then other people show up and I don't. Now it's your fault. Can I own it? Can I be responsible for it? Well, the principles and the guidelines we're talking about have to show up in all situations. We can't pick and choose. Right. We can't be selective about the truth. Now we can be sensitive to the impact our words have on others. So, like another truism that I got from my parents, particularly my grandparents and my great aunties and them, if I can't speak well, it's better for me not to speak at all. See, that's honest. If my truth may create some harm or make people feel a little uncomfortable or maybe a bit unwieldy right then it's better for me not to say nothing. Than to just go, I'm just trying to tell, as many of the people that I've been around, and they do the head shake too, I'm just trying to, and then they just end up hurting more people than they really are helping more people. And my obligation as a minister is to be really loyal to that maxim that I should not create harm. And the harm is not measured by whether I think about it, it's measured by how does that impact all of you. So even when I'm here to share what I believe is the divine element of the truth, it can't come at your expense. If folks here, I don't care about y'all being uncomfortable, but if it's painful, well, okay, maybe you need to step back a little bit, give you little servings instead of the full way. That's my obligation as a minister. Yours as non-ministers is to practice that in your relationships with each other. See, this can't be a self-service type of thing. There's this, what they call, it's not so much a contradiction, it's a paradox. On one hand, it's about you. How you behave, how you carry yourself, how you deal with others. On the other hand, it ain't just about you. Not unless you want to practice a caveman thing where you intend never to come outside and hang with anybody else. But some of y'all might be on that path. Although I would think it would be difficult for you to show up here. And everybody to show up here, I believe I got you. You are obligated to deal with your behavior in a manner that you have to take other people's feelings and impact in mind. It doesn't mean that it's supposed to make you not do what you also are supposed to do. And it's not an excuse. Once again, not an offering. You can't just go, well, I don't want to hurt none of y'all feelings. Really. Was your goal to share a truth that should help? Or was it just so you would say something? It didn't really clear how it impacted us. So my art has to do with guidelines that are not commandments. Let's get that straight. Guidelines are divine suggestions. They have an orientation and they have a foundation in the divine. And that divine is speaking to your divine spirit and to you. Innately, we have been born. We have been created to the purpose to have some of the divine already in us, just waiting to be activated. And what it needs is the fuel. Like any engine, it can't just run on thinking. It has to have fuel. And the fuel is Maat. And for it to function well, it has to be fed good fuel. That's why you need study. That's why you need to learn. That's why you have to practice the virtue of can you trust your master? And the master ain't someone on the outside. The master is something on the inside. Because you've been given the tool to be able to take what you hear, measure it, and apply it appropriately. There's my principle called piety. That's also known as right. See, you know right. Now you have the free will not to follow what's right. That's a human struggle. You have the will to take what you know to be right and ignore it anyway. That's why it's a guideline and not a commandment. Because truly, if it was a commandment, many of us wouldn't be here today. Because the direct consequences of a divine commandment is maybe your life won't survive going outside that commandment. See, with divine guidelines, it's for the purpose of it to live them. Live them. It's not developing a good resume so that when you go to the afterlife, you get the keys to go in. It's because you have had the ability to live Well, now I know many of us have been influenced by Christianity and so forth. So the ideal of a benefit that leads somewhere at the end is really overwhelming. When it does go, it is erase the responsibility while you're living. You know, Catholics have this practice where they make this confession at the end. So, and that's what's excused them for 70 years of not living right. That explains me why the culture does what it does. See, we don't come from that. African culture calls us that in order for us to even be in line for the feather and the heart to measure together, is that we got to do right things while we are alive. While we are living. If you don't do that, then coming at the end will just be a whole bunch of excuses. And so far, it might be there somewhere, but so far in my study, I have seen no room for excuses at the end. I don't think thought or my stand there going, could you give me a paper on your excuses? He's standing there solemnly waiting for the measurement. And don't even show no signs of a discussion and exchange. So even a hiring of a lawyer ain't gonna help you by that point. And that's why we have a life. And those Maat guidelines put us in position for the benefit of the afterlife. So, I always wondered, and then I figured it out, why would people want to struggle, want to suffer, want to go through abuse, and then at the end get something good? It's like winning the lottery the day before you die. I don't understand that relationship. That here it is, I'm going to go through a lifetime of misery. And then, oh, I'm going to smile as my heartbeat begins to fade. Not actually, at least I'll speak for myself. The divine did not intend that act. The principles of Inusa Saba have a purpose in mind. One of them is purpose. A lot of younger people would like to understand what is their purpose. Why are we here? Why should we do the things we should do? Because it's hard to communicate to young folks who have no sense of length of time and being at the end. They don't. Because the big question would be, why? Why? Many of the younger adults that I speak to, well, because many of the younger people that I speak to, that's one of the questions I get, is that they don't have a problem understanding the principles. They don't have a problem understanding doing right versus wrong. It's the question of why, and they don't get a feasible answer that will change behavior. I bet you, Pam, you met a few younger than young folks that will do the same thing. They may not ask the correct question, but they'll do it in their behavior. Why should I follow the rules? Why should I modify my behavior? Why should I get along with folks that I don't want to get along with? Why shouldn't I rob that bank? Why shouldn't I break in that car so I can have me some money? See, all of us can stand in a position of judgment. Ooh, that's bad behavior. What about the answer to why? You gonna tell me or tell a younger person they should do those things, and yet the option would be go hungry, be broke, not have a place to live. Because that's what many of these younger people are addressing. There ain't a lot of them that's all well educated and firmly in a job and have those possessions that we value. We value them, so we can't act like, well, having a job, eventually, how many of us would wait while we try to pay bills and not have a job? I don't know, it's okay. We're living in our cars instead of a place with a roof and a bedroom. See, young folks understand that's legal. It's easy once we got what we got to go how valuable that is, but we never have really done well with the why part. Explain it to someone who has yet to have it. Why should it? Why should it be okay with putting things off? And that is balanced, another principle, against a society that wants you to believe everything should happen immediately. As soon as your brain has the ability to want stuff, why should I wait now? It's not just the microwave, but it's similar. You can't convince people who are sitting there not knowing where their next meal is coming from that they shouldn't go in a store and when the reality is they don't have it right. Somebody come with me. That's right. All right. Part of my art is to think about others. Right. So it can't be top down. It can't be, I got mine, you get yours. It can't be, let me stand here, let's say, and pontificate about how good it is. It's good for me. That ain't true for everybody else. And the issue isn't how good it is for me. I started ministry amongst Baptist folks, and many of them love to speak about how good God has blessed me. Watch where your toes. And many of us have aided that perspective, cheering them on, giving a little extra on their anniversaries, all for that look good for you. Now, they convince you should feel better because I look better, because I live better. The truth is, if that's not true for us, if we aren't living better, then see, the divine says nobody really is living better. Right? And that's something you ain't going to hear from the folk, because I don't want them monies to stop coming. And see, I got a self-interest. Nowhere in mind that it speaks about the self, even with self-sacrifice. Oops. See, the litany of sacrifice is not the litany of self-sacrifice. It is supposed to be a practice of reciprocity. See, I heard that word a few times. Reciprocity is an exchange. The principles of Maat are not one-sided. You get yours, and you hang on. Yours is coming. They ain't weird. Oh, well, maybe I'm the one who heard it. So I heard that a lot. Yours is coming. Just wait. Yours is coming. The reality is, if we aren't coming together, then really it's wrong. It's out of principle. Because reciprocity says, I should be able to gain as you gain. I should be getting as you getting. So whatever I share, whatever I offer, has a return. And those stating those refuse to receive, that's gain. Because it comes from the position of who's receiving. Right. It's always better to receive, especially when I ain't got to give. I close the door. Look, y'all, part of my art is challenging the ways we've been raised. See, we trusted others to be in charge, but I already not there. Yeah. See, we've been raised a certain way. And if you notice, it's from the angle that those who already have. Maybe I should say that again. It's from the view. It's from the angle of those who already have. So see, it's always better to hear you. It's always important for you to make sure I have. What doesn't happen because it's not reciprocity is how does that actually give you something tangible right now? See, young people, they bust that out loud because they see our pastors and leaders riding in limos and Cadillacs. And, well, listen, my day was Cadillac. You know, nowadays, might be something else. But they see that because that's tangible. That's material. And we can't even tell them, well, you know, the reason why. No, the reason why they have a 3-suite level house is because they've been given and y'all, us, have been doing. What has been happening is it's mutual. I don't need you to give me this something to make me feel okay. See, I also need some potential. Something that helps me live a better life. Never, not down the line. I'm going to get nothing of what you need. It should be already rewarding me as we live. All everything. My guidelines place the responsibility personally, but the interaction is community. We do that again. My heart has to do with personal action, personal behavior, personal beliefs, personal interaction. But the end, you, my family should benefit. My neighbor should benefit. My community should benefit as I also benefit. See, that's what's called reciprocity. That's why it's an important principle of my life. Because, see, without that practice, our young see the hypocrisy. They're invested as older folks who don't have a eye. You know, some of y'all think people lie. You know how we have these signposts. You turn 18, I know they can't tell you what to do. You turn 21 and legally nobody can tell you what to do. You get 40, you so grown and so old. You understand? You get 70, you're automatically elder. So now you get to tell other people what you get. But the reality is, the true story is, you didn't get there by yourself, and you're not going to stay there by yourself. And the reality of what gets you there is with a daily practice, behavior, speaking, doing that allows you to put in place stuff that sounds excellent. It sounds beautiful. That's why they have within the Bible, there's the beautification. Those things like salvation, long suffering, are all benefits of a behavior that has been ongoing. Not because I could sing good, not because I remember the page in the Bible or the text in Lucia or the paragraph of Maat that lights us and so. It's because the things that I have been able to do and therefore use when I see you, whether I like you or not. Uh-oh. That's why me and Pam got to get along. See, and it doesn't just work about me talking about you. See, Whether you like me or not, you still need to treat me well. Because I also should be treating you. No, huh? Two ways, but one destination. Come on, y'all. So understand, we share a commonality. We may not speak to it a lot. We may not. But everyone wants to live well. I don't know anybody that voluntarily wants to suffer. Now, some people, because of their choices, get put in positions or situations or environments that aren't healthy. But nobody volunteers, wakes up and says, let me find some way to be sad this week. Nobody gets up about, let's see how hard it can really get. Nobody is living like that, that wants that. So understand that that's where everybody gets to come from. That's why everybody can get a benefit. You want to talk about the benefits, y'all? See, the benefit plan for Maat is a sense of stability. Things you can be feeling that there's things you can handle. And then you also know the limits and stuff you just live around. And then there's the peace you gain. So being in a position where the contention is lessened. See, we got folks 11 years old talking about stress. I was told stress as the earth. You're old enough to have stress. And my 11-year-old talking about stress. I even teach, I have taught a course on stress reduction. And I have to bring to a few graders. Now I was doing it because it was a very good thing. At the same time, I was sitting there going, we in trouble. If we are talking about stress and the need for stress reduction.
You got a good job.
Yeah. And then God is the opportunity for growth. Because until you die, you need to keep growing. And that's what us elderly people need to remind ourselves. We have not arrived, and thankfully we haven't. Because when you arrive, then you stop growing. You have no reason to get up the next day. Yes, even older people lose their life. Even older people lose their motivation to keep. I'd be like a musician who says, well, now that I have a girl with it, you need to be no more right. You ain't got nothing better about my musicianship. It make for a pretty stale artist. Tell me, Daniel. So, and then there's the joy. Joy and the love. That's why I'll wrap this up. See, I don't know about y'all, but there's everybody in my family who say, you know, even when I'm not there, got my cousins would tell you, I enjoy. I'm a pleasure man and a good one. Now, before, my pleasure used to get in the way because they were out of proportion, they were finding what was right and what should be my priority. And see, that was very self-serving. Because see, you're talking my joy, especially if it comes into the expense of someone else. You know, that's like having a particular desire of a certain food to eat, and we know somebody else is paying for the meal, let me do that. You know, that's so. The real joy, true joy, the principal joy comes as a result of is that I have done things to earn that joy. And it hasn't come from someone else's expense. It has come because the interaction between me and life, me and the others, me and family, me and friends has resulted in an unbounded joy. That's why our relationships, I don't know about y'all, my relationships are so much more now. My friends are so much more friends now. They may be, number now because of attrition of age, also their ability to help do things like help with winning dominoes. So when they're limited, yeah, I've limited the numbers. But understand that the joy is so much bigger. And it's just dependent on less and less people. Because I recognize I'm responsible for my joy. And it should be a responsibility. Because you really try to keep my presence. Come on, y'all. Even if I don't win, but I tell us something to do. All good. At least it feels like and then there's love, ultimately. A lot of times we don't talk about that enough in the real context of love. We like to do the well out here. But see, love is also tangible. Love has a material element. See, we picture love. It has to be because instead of me and you interchanging, it's always enough. The love will change. My daughter is one of my best friends in the country because she gives me now. This is what's like me never have. Okay? And I hope I measure up and get them now. Maybe as much as you will have praise Lord. The service I love the Lord. But instead of it's our relationship. And it works so well. My sisters. And I got one. The one that's here, she was one that be really kind of the longest. The other was working with me. But she is not there through my insanity and through my well-being. And the love is tangible. I got her, and she got mine. And that's tangible. That one, all right, to allow you to do that. Get that. Thing that. If you have better, it's to show up in your relationships, your outcomes, and your lifestyle. You don't have to win the lottery. Yeah, I have to nice condition because I play it. Don't play it to it. I play it to win. Yet, that doesn't determine whether my lifestyle is right. It will just have an enhancement. But it's based not on the material stuff. It's based on the relationships that become so precious. Do have a price. Do have a cost. See, I don't want an absence of. I don't want an absence of relationships. I don't want no one to really care about me. So I want to contribute with the job. See, my aunt has to mean something for I'm going to connect this last piece. My aunt should directly connect to where it goes aside. We'll have community principles. You got to live individual principles. See, if your personal principles, your personal carriage, your personal life is raggedy, the other principles going to be raggedy too. You can't be surprised if we got a raggedy neighborhood, raggedy family, raggedy neighborhoods, raggedy communities. If the individuals in it is raggedy too. Hurt people do hurtful things. Sick people do sick things. Healthy people can't build healthy lifestyle. But God allows us to become more healthy. And you don't stop just because today you took rest. Now, I is an ongoing in the health. Like the song we were talking about, Dr. O.J. United we stand. Divided we fall. That's the motion. And if y'all fall, if I'm falling, eventually the rest will fall. Now, we need to do that slowly. You know, we see somebody stumbling, and we move out the way. That comes back to culture. Because like another elder statement was that eventually the people you see falling down, eventually you can. So instead of us waiting till the tragedy hits us, practice behavior, discipline that enhances what we do. In return, it calls you to be everybody, and I have measured you. Because since I said that, you know, because that further comes with judgment, without measurement, without qualifications, because those are missing ones, not you. And what applies to me. All the principles, all the virtues, all the guidelines are connected together. This is kind of the part that sometimes messes with me, but in my family, we have a tradition of people, especially the matriarchs, who some left the earth before I would say was their time. And one of the things I miss the most is those lessons that when I was younger, I didn't want to pay attention to them. Yeah. I would imagine that. Right. One of the things about why we do ancestor migration is to bring a legacy forward. Some of us have been fortunate that the people who presented that legacy for the family lived long enough to come to you. Right. It's your responsibility is not to keep it for yourself. Right. Your responsibility is to share it. All conditions, not get destroyed. Or if you feel you're going to do, maybe I'll share it with you. Or if you just not make a mistake, then you'll be okay to get this. Because that ain't where you got it. Our parents, our aunts, younger, and the older, and the other relatives you had, just you didn't have to sign up for nothing. You have to earn it. Big mama, just drop it to us. You got anything over there? You see? That just drop it to us. My mama, just drop it to us. And is it nurture? It isn't they only do, but it isn't they do. It's on us. And you can get it. Instead of being upset with them because they didn't measure up to something that we still struggling with living saying. But I'll sit and tell on myself. I'll tell on myself. That's why this part is emotional. Because it took me so long. Yeah, I didn't know it. You know, a lot of gray hairs and a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of when was comfortable living in the neighborhood, didn't understand what I didn't understand. And now I'm here, but I haven't learned. Y'all feel me? Yes. And I like that. Yes. You know, because that has a reason to get me up in the morning. So I can do that. So I can live better. So I can love better. So I can speak better. So I can think better. So I can behave better. How about y'all? Y'all want some of that? Yes. It ain't a secret. Maat is a collection of principles. Yeah. You'll find it in almost every material, be it the Bible, be it the Quran, be it Lucia, it is found everywhere. The issue is practicing it everywhere. Believing it everywhere. Behaving with it everywhere. And not just in these happy chairs. But when we get up, when we walk amongst folks that we may not like that much, I leave it and stop bragging about, I may not love you, but I do like, I don't like you, but I do love you. Stand it out. If you don't like somebody, you really don't love them. But you can touch it off really well. Oh, I'm sorry. Maat is about thinking, and doing. When we practice those things, we play. When we don't, we lose. Is that simple? Is that basic? Let's go. Stay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll say, you have heard the word. We'll say, people of Maat, people of righteousness, people of truth, people of justice, people of right order, people of harmony, people of Maat. We have heard the word. We have been around for over 40 years here in this church. And any of you in the building, any of you on Zoom that think you're ready to come do the work with us, now is the time to step in. Now is the time to raise your hand and say, I want to be a part of what you're doing. You know what you're doing, and if somebody on Zoom wants to go, somebody on Zoom will get you there. Thank you, Mr. Malley, for bringing up the work. And the sound of my I want to make one quick announcement before we go, and that is Minister Malley wants to have a live spring celebration on March the 30th. So we're going to have a short, I don't even want to call it a meeting, a short discussion afterwards to talk about what we're going to pull off and how we're going to do it.
Mainly, we want to just decide location. It's going to be a potluck style picnic. And we want to determine whether we want to take it to an actual park or should we just do it here?
Yeah, let's call it a cookout, not a picnic.
Yeah, cookout.
Okay, so. Yeah, so if I can get people to come to the front and sing, people,
Lift every voice.
We haven't figured out yet we haven't figured out a good closing and a good way to do lift every voice. If I can get people to come to the front, we're gonna do some lift every voice and sing, and then we're gonna close out our service. Come to the front. Okay. I see two coming. Mom, Pam, you getting up? Coming? You come see us.
I'm good right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Give us another one.
That I rejoice in
as we have said for over 40 years, we are one people.
One people.
With one faith.
One faith.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
One God.
One God.
One God.
One God.
One God.
One God.
And we call that God using the name that we have used for generations. Let us all say, Amen. say you are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. I say.